Coming up tonight, back-to-back, baby. The Birds are NFC East champs.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I think they're going to be ready for the playoffs.
But we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, Jake Elliott.
Jake Elliott's field goal, hooks wide.
What's up with that? And the playoff picture is almost set. So who could the Birds face in a few weeks?
Most of the teams I feel we match up well against. We just haven't played the Niners or the Seahawks lately.
Time for our 6:30 appointment with the Philly faithful. What time is it?
It's time for the Phantastic! Go Birds!
From Fox 29 News, this is the Phantastic Sports Show, presented by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Welcome to the Phantastic Sports Show. Happy Monday.
Happy
it's a holiday week.
Monday.
Yeah, it's a victory Monday. Hey, listen, I wanted the Birds to win and look good doing it.
Yeah.
Did they fulfill my request?
I think so.
I would say more yes than no.
For the most part, yeah. But there definitely were a few
iffy, ugly
things.
moments.
And so, Jason, why don't we talk about it today?
Yeah.
Here's what's on deck. So first things first, of course, we are going to talk about the Eagles winning pretty heavy-handedly, of course, back-to-back NFC East champs. That's the first time that's been done in 21 years.
Yeah, how about
so
that?
We love that.
We need to take a step back and just, enjoy that moment.
Absolutely. So also, the playoff picture is starting to come together. We'll take a peek here at what's going on in the league. And also the Phils, mind you, have some things going on. And I know it's not baseball-minded weather at the moment, but definitely they're cooking.
Well, yeah. I mean, they quietly brought in a stud reliever to help this bullpen up, which we know they need some help. So we'll talk about that with Kyle Fisher. 215-915-PHAN. Merry Christmas. It's a holiday week. Got the big holiday, but we also have Birds to talk about. It's December, and we're thinking playoffs at this point.
Playoffs?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. 215-915-PHAN. Be a part of our show.
Welcome back into the Phantastic Sports Show. And look who's here, our friend Kyle Fisher. Hey, Kyle.
What's going on? First time I've been here in the 6:30 time slot.
Yeah,
I'm
same
excited.
time. I know. They
I'm really
moved us
excited.
up. The beard's on point. The hair's on point. You're ready to roll. I love it, Kyle.
Born ready.
Yeah. Kyle, if you don't know Kyle, he also is Tracy Wolfson's sideline producer for CBS, right?
sir.
And you
Yes,
just
sir.
got back from that great Detroit-Pittsburgh game.
Oh, yeah.
You were on the sideline for that. And we'll talk a little AFC later. But so you did see the Birds on Saturday, obviously.
Of course.
All right. Was it pretty enough? Was the win, did they get style points for that victory?
Yeah, I think that when you see the offense continue to evolve, you get a few more wrinkles added in. You see what the offense could be. I think that they've tried to add wrinkles and didn't necessarily feel confident in those wrinkles early in the season. So to see what they've been able to do confidently over the last couple of weeks, regardless of the competition level, is huge. And we all know NFC East matchups, doesn't matter how bad a team might look on paper, they're always tough ones. We saw that with the end of the game as well.
Breland, Saquon Barkley's slowly coming alive at the right time.
I love that I kind of have not made fun of, but I think it's just so cliche of the team to consistently say throughout the course of any struggle or any issue, well, we're not going to be playing our best football right now. We play our best football in December. Well, it is December now, and I do think that there is something to that, especially when it comes to Saquon Barkley. He looks great and has consistently looked great. Now, granted, were the strength of the opponents spectacular? No, of course not. But you have to play who you're playing, and I think this actually bodes really, really well, because I'll tell you, I watched that Bills game yesterday, and that Buffalo defense is not it.
Hot garbage?
Yeah. So I think that actually bodes really, really well going into a tough matchup when you play Buffalo in December. Obviously, that brings struggles and Saquon's performance and the offensive performance, I think, makes me feel significantly better going in.
Lane Johnson can't get healthy fast enough, but take your time because we're going to need you. I think the offensive lines. And if you get Saquon into the open field, that's what I've been thinking about here. If he gets into the open field, there are flashes of last year's Saquon.
Yeah.
He's got to get through that first block, and he might be gone.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people talk about it. You finally see him getting to the second level that he always used to get to last season, and you knew that every time he got to the second level, there was a chance he could break one. We saw it time and time again. He'd wear you out in that second level, finally get the right move and break one off, and you're seeing that in these last couple weeks. Even though Buffalo's D isn't as tough as it may have been the last couple years, still the biggest test they're going to have the rest of the way.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the fan cam real quick.
Back-to-back NFC East champions, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly. I think they're going to be ready for the playoffs, man. Whoever they play in the NFC championship, whether it's the Rams or even the Bears. Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right, Niall.
Well, maybe not all of them are ready for the playoffs because Jake Elliott is not in playoff form. He, remember last year he had, he did not finish the season strong, and then he got pretty good in the playoffs. Same kind of thing here, guys. I mean, the 2 back-to-back hooks there, just wide left. We've changed holders, we've changed snappers, we've done it all, but we haven't changed kickers yet. Kyle, what? And Jake, by the way, he says it's not mental. So what is it?
That is the most surprising thing to me when you see things happen the same way. Like you said, he hooked both the same direction. To me, that typically feels like there's something else going on up here.
Right.
He says it's not. In my mind, I would have thought that was easier to swallow. Hey, all I have to do is get in the right mentality and trust my mechanics. But if he's saying it's mechanical and he thinks that's harder to overcome, should the team be considering it? I personally wouldn't, but I am a little surprised that they're not at least bringing somebody in to see what else might be out there.
The fact that, first of all, before I tell you my point, let's go and hear from Nick Sirianni on what he has to say.
I think it's always important that everybody needs to know they're loved and appreciated. And so, that my love and appreciation for Jake isn't just when you guys ask me questions about it, but also, in times, like this, you want to make sure you reconfirm those things.
Sure. So he was 0 for 2 yesterday, or Saturday on field goals, and then also had that offsides as well. So that's 9 points that he left out on the board. This is 7 missed kicks, or missed field goals rather, this season so far. And I think, look, I know we all love him, and it's nothing to do with him, and it's not an indictment on him as a person or anything like that. But at a certain point, we have to recognize the kicker position is the absolute most competitive position in the entire National Football League. You have 32 jobs in the world, and you're going to sit here and tell me that there's not anybody else out here that could fill one of those 32 spots, because also, mind you, kickers stay in that position. So you have to be so competitive, and to leave 9 points on the board and to have this continue to go, because we saw it last year as well. It just, I don't know, immediately I start thinking about that kid from Temple, Matt Trujillo.
Yeah, I thought
and
about
I'm
him.
like, where is he?
Yeah.
What's he doing? He was on the Colts for a little bit, and there's so many highly skilled people just floating around without jobs simply because there's no space, and you can't be leaving 9 points there, dog.
Yeah, I thought of Cameron Dicker too, and he's obviously locked in L.A. with the Chargers. But
the one thing I'd say about the kicker is that I think we've been kind of spoiled in Philadelphia. We had very long-term successful kickers for a long time. You and I both know from covering more than just local teams, not every team has had that benefit over the years. So while there is only 32 jobs, there may only be 20 people you trust doing that week in and week out. And if you start to falter, now you have to start rotating guys. Do you want to be in a position where you don't know who your kicker is going to be week to week, or do you want to trust the guy who's been there for your 2 championships?
No, but something to watch here in the future. Is Nick Sirianni going to start calling the game differently? Is he going to start going for on a 4th down, calling for 2-point conversions? Do you start managing the game offensively differently, knowing Jake Elliott can't be trusted beyond 45, 50 yards? And by the way, in this year's NFL, 50 yards ain't nothing. But
I think the whole, the skirmish that we saw afterwards in the 4th quarter, because Washington took offense of going for the 2-point conversion, that tells me they weren't really sure about Jake Elliott. Period. Yeah. There.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
For sure. He didn't want to give Jake Elliott another miss, and then he gets deeper into his own head.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too.
Of course, Coach didn't say that, and I'll take him at his word to a point, but I agree. It stands out as this is an easy, there's no point in running the score up. Sure, you could get into the mathematics, 18 versus 17. We're parsing, or 19 versus 18 rather.
Right.
We're parsing hairs here at this point. That late in the game, you go for the field goal, but if you didn't want to hang that on his head on the way out after already missing 3 earlier in the game, now you put yourself in a tough situation, and Washington responds.
Here's the go vote. He's got to go 54. Nope, he's our guy 46. Are the Eagles being loyal to a fault here to Jake Elliott? He's got 2 rings. He's been there through the greatest times in this franchise's history. I think it's in the offseason it's time to go.
I think it's definitely something to look
Say goodbye.
At.
Competition at the very least.
All right. Coming up next, the Eagles, should they go for that number 2? Should they rest guys? How should they handle these last 2 games? Plus, the playoff pictures are becoming clearer in the AFC and the NFC. We'll we'll discuss with Kyle. He was on the sideline for that DK Metcalf hair pull and punch.
Yeah, there was
weird.
a swing, a pull.
Yeah.
That's a weird weekend.
Yeah, we'll discuss coming up.
Welcome back into the Phantastic Sports Show. Still hanging out with Kyle Fisher as we now kind of transition out a little bit here, because this playoff picture, fellas, is starting to come together with, we've got 2 more weeks left in the NFL season, but we're starting to see some things here.
Yeah, and the Bears pulled a rabbit out of their hat on Saturday night as well. There you can see, here's the playoff picture. You got Seattle, who played an incredible game last Thursday night against the Rams. So looks like they're going to have that 1 seed and win that division. Although the Rams, there's a couple more games left. We'll see how that plays out. Bears are just, I'm concerned they're like, they just really blew their you-know-what there, 11-4. They're not going to play better football than they're playing right now. In the playoffs, I don't have too much hope, but that's okay.
I also think that...
Not that they're fraudulent, but that they've already played their best football.
They're also inexperienced when it comes to the postseason, and it's a whole different ball game. And, I mean, you've seen that with the AFC playoff picture over and over. Like, why was Kansas City so dominant? It's because they have the experience. They have, and when Patrick Mahomes has 13 seconds left to make a game-winning drive, he's going to do it because he's been in that position before and he's like clutch. And so I with teams like that are new and don't have a lot of any playoff experience for any of those guys on Chicago, I see an early exit, but who knows?
Yeah,
it's fun for them.
But the only way the Birds are going to get that 2 seed is if the Bears lose the next 2 and the Eagles win out. Because they have the tiebreaker. Those Bears do. Yeah. So, is it worth the Eagles trying for that 2 seed?
I think you see how next week goes, and then you determine from there. If Chicago looks messy or they get some injuries, hey, why not go for it? We can guarantee that we're at home the entire way, except if we end up playing in Seattle, or whoever ends up at the top of that division, right? But I think that you have to go week by week. So I don't want to get ahead of myself and say you have to start everybody. Let's go rolling into the playoffs. We saw last year they rested guys, and look what they did. So I'm feeling good about it either way.
Let's go to the fan cam.
Most of the teams I feel we match up well against, we just haven't played the Niners or the Seahawks lately. So there could be some unknown variables, but we'll just do it differently this year than what we did it last year. But in the final analysis, I feel like the results are going to be the same.
Yeah, I love how he says, let's go first. We cut it off. Thank you, Paul. But, I'm really curious to see. Obviously, don't rest guys this week. But I really am curious to see how they match up because, like you said, Kyle, this is going to be kind of their final test before postseason. Washington won't have much to play for, and it wouldn't surprise me if, by that Week 18 matchup, the Eagles know a little bit more where they are going to fall, and we won't see starters that game. That's going to be a Tanner McKee contest, I have a sneaking suspicion.
Could be. Bears are the Sunday night game.
Okay.
We are the 4:25 game. Is that on Fox 29?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Marcus. So we won't know by kickoff whether we still have a chance at the 2 seed. But I think it's worth playing for. But I think this Buffalo game, more than seedings, is just how do we look against a good team?
Yeah,
that's what it's way more about to me.
Especially when this offense, like we've talked about, is finally starting to click. Is it the fact that they're clicking, or is it the fact that they've played the Raiders and the Commanders?
Yeah.
So I want to see them do well. And like I said, Buffalo's defense is not the old gray mare, just ain't what she used to be, but it's still a competitive team. They're still obviously a very, very talented team, and it'll be really interesting to see how they stack up.
I think it's a good little measuring stick for our defense.
Yeah.
Not necessarily our offense. How do we look against Josh Allen and company? Here's the AFC.
This is so weird. The Arrowhead Invitational is canceled this year.
Canceled.
Gone. And Denver with the big loss. I mean, is Jacksonville for real? The Patriots certainly seem for real. Are the Steelers for real? What a big win last night on a controversial call at the end there, Kyle. But a big win for the Steelers against are the Lions cooked? What?
They need a lot of help. I think they need to win out, and everybody in front of them loses out.
Yeah, Green Bay could. Yeah. But so, what do you make of the AFC playoff picture? If we can see that again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about it. I mean, like you said, the Arrowhead Invitational is canceled. The Bills are on the edge of the playoffs. Just to take a bigger look at everything, and I'm talking across both leagues here. The number 1 seeds are Bo Nix and Sam Darnold. If you told me that at the beginning of the year, I told you you were crazy. The 2 seeds are 2 second-year quarterbacks. The 3rd seeds are Trevor Lawrence and the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
The 4 seeds are auto bids. Teams that don't quite have 10 wins yet. The wild cards, you have Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy. You have C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love. And on the outside looking in, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Burrow, Goff, Baker, Dak. Some of the biggest names are on the outside this year. It makes things so exciting for the rest of the year, regardless of who you're a fan of.
I agree with you, Kyle. This is such a strange year, but as a football fan, it's so fun because you can't. Okay, Andy Reid always would say the exact same thing of like, we look forward to the challenge of playing XYZ because the parity of the league is so great, like on a given Sunday, blah, blah, blah. No, but seriously, like the parity of the league is, in fact, so great this year that you never really know who's dominant, who's for real. Like, I can't figure it out.
Week
and I
to
think
week,
that's super, super fun. And I think that this playoff picture is going to be really fun moving forward. And I don't really know what that means for the Birds, but I think no matter what, if you're a football fan, this is going to be a fun year.
The only thing that was predictable than ever this year.
Yeah.
Right. You can't. The only thing that would shock me is if an AFC team won the Super Bowl, because I feel like the NFC is just that much more talented. Let's talk about this DK Metcalf incident with a fan pulling the wig, the hair, and then throwing a punch. He kind of missed, but what do we know of? The NFL is investigating. We know that. There's been no suspension or anything.
Yes.
He was suspended
2 games.
Suspended 2 games announced today. Yeah.
Okay, I missed that part. Well. Okay. Is that then? Is that, I mean, anything to the fan? We don't know what the fan said. But DK walked over to him, Kyle. You were on that sideline just moments after this happened, right?
Yeah,
on your coverage.
By the time I got over there, DK had been sequestered. He was on the bench by himself. He wasn't really even engaging with other teammates. I think he just needed a minute to calm down.
Yeah.
No hanging of the head. I mean, he was in good spirits generally. But when I was over there, a league official was talking to fans near where the incident happened, asking for their
what did
side
you hear?
of the
What did you
story.
see?
Yeah, so just trying to get additional information about what happened and what went into it. A lot of fans chose not to say anything, but there were plenty from both teams who were willing to speak up.
Some people are saying it's just minor chirping. Others, there's potential reports of slurs going out there. We don't really know what has happened.
Of course, the fan himself denies any wrongdoing at all. But.
Well, he raised his hands like, yes, I did my job. I pissed him off.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously he was trying to do that.
Well, yeah.
But did DK need to go engage the fan and walk over to him?
I mean, when you walk over to somebody,
the first thing I saw from Steeler fans was, thank goodness we got rid of Pickens so we could get the mature DK Metcalf in here.
There you go. All right, let's talk a little Phils. Okay, that's going to be coming up next. Brad Keller is a Phil. Is he the closer? Maybe. Certainly looked good with the Cubs last year, so we'll discuss as he introduces himself to Philadelphia.
Welcome back into the Phantastic Sports Show. So, quick order of business before we get into some more Phillies talk here, but they did make a move here today. Zach Pop, another pitcher coming to town. That was I don't know, maybe like 4:30-ish or whatever that broke, and that's directly from the team. So there's that lot of turnover here when it comes to the pitching staff and the bullpen. Kyle, how do you feel after kind of the dust has settled a little bit?
So it is tough to swallow when you look at what Matt Strahm has done for this team the last 3 seasons. It's tough to just accept that he won't be here this year. He's one of the most reliable left-handed relievers in all of baseball the last 3 seasons. That being said, a lot of the things that they've done seem to be fitting a particular type of role that they want coming out of the bullpen, and that is ground ball heavy. Strahm's ground ball rate had gone down while his fly ball rate went up the last couple of years, and he lost a little bit on the fastball. Even if he was still effective, you could see it in the home run numbers. He was giving up a little bit more hard hits than normal. Well, our guy Brad Keller comes in, an impressive season last year, 55% ground ball rate to go with his 27% strikeout rate. Even the other guys that they, Jonathan Bolin, the guy they got in return for Matt Strahm, he has no options, but he has 5 years of team control at near league minimum, and he had a ground ball rate of 47.9%. The Kyle Backus, crazy funky delivery. He's almost a submarine guy, something that the Phillies haven't seen in a long time. He had a ground ball rate of 32.9, but a low fly ball rate, a low walk rate, and then Zach Pop, again, over 50% ground ball rate last season. They clearly had something that they wanted to do after getting some big home runs from their guys in the bullpen the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
They're going ground ball sinker heavy with everybody coming out of that pen.
December 22nd. And we're talking ground ball rate, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Just how I like it. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Kyle, we got to go. Kyle Fisher, thank you very much for coming.
Appreciate
Merry
it,
Christmas. Thanks for coming.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks so much for having me again.
Absolutely. And guys, we will be right back. There's your number.
All right, so that's it. Breland, is this going to be a Super Bowl preview coming up this weekend, you think, maybe? Birds, Bills? We've been saying that since August.
I would love a Birds-Bills Super Bowl. That would be so much fun, and two phenomenal fan bases. Well, San Francisco, I don't think could handle that. I'm going to be honest.
No, they play tonight. They got my boy Phillip Rivers and the Colts tonight. We'll see what happens there. In the meantime, Jason and Breland here saying so long from our Old City studios here in the Phantastic Sports Show. Yeah, sounding fancy,
That was
huh?
nice.
Merry Christmas.